Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga with Caroline. Today's class is a Yang Yin practice. So the first half of the class will be focusing on holding certain poses for a certain amount of breaths to build strength, heat, and flexibility. And then the second half of the class, the Yin portion, will be settling in more restorative Yin postures to stretch the deep connective tissues. So let's get started. So starting on our backs in Shavasana here. Letting your legs fall alongside the long part of your mat. Feet falling open, palms are facing up towards the sky. Taking a nice deep inhale here. And exhaling. Nice deep inhale once more. And exhale through the mouth. For the remainder of the class, remembering to maintain that ujjayi breath, the oceanic sounding breath, as we're holding in each posture. Go ahead and bring those knees in. Dropping that left leg down to the mat, drawing the right knee in. Grabbing behind your right knee and straightening that right leg. Only as far as it's comfortable. Getting a nice stretch in the hamstring here. And then go ahead and dropping that leg down. Left knee in towards your chest. And straighten that left leg. Beautiful. Now both knees in towards your chest. Hug them in, maybe rock side to side. Massage that lower back. Rolling over to your right side, lifting yourself up with your left hand. And bringing yourself up into tabletop. Keeping your toes tucked. Hover those knees and send those sits bones up towards the sky into our first downward facing dog. Keeping a nice generous bend in the knees here. Warming up those legs, straighten the left leg, bending the right. Straighten the right leg, bending the left. And just go ahead and do that a few times. Get those hamstrings nice and warm. Go ahead and bend the knees, look forward, and step to the top of your mat. Big toes are touching, heels are slightly apart. Folding forward. Belly drawing towards the thighs. Go ahead and slowly roll yourself up to standing into mountain pose. Taking a sun salutation here. Inhale, sweeping those arms up overhead, extended mountain pose. Exhale, swan diving forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms onto the mat and taking your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, sending your sits bones up into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up to the sky into open hip three-legged dog, keeping your chest square to the mat. And exhale as you step through into runner's lunge. All right, staying high on those back toes, front knee in line with the front ankle. Inhale as you bring your arms up into high crescent lunge here. And we'll be holding for a few breaths. Again, level one option, drop that right knee. So inhale and exhale. Remembering to breathe here as we hold high crescent lunge. Feeling that heat building in the legs, feeling yourself getting stronger. And hold. Really high on those back toes. Getting that nice stretch in the left hip flexors, working that right quad, and glutes. Beautiful. Hands to the mat. I'm just gonna rotate over here. Hands to the mat as you pivot that left foot. So the back edge of the left foot is in line with the back edge of your mat. And inhale as you windmill your arms up into warrior two. And we'll be holding here. Making sure that front knee is in line with that front ankle. Really pressing into the back edge of that back foot here. And remembering to breathe. Soften the jaw. Engage the core. Spine is nice and long here. All right, coming into triangle. Straighten that right leg. Draw that left hip back behind you. Just hinge that hip out behind you. Lean forward as much as you can. And then go ahead and rest your right hand either on your thigh, your shin. You can even use a block here. I have one here somewhere. There it is. You can use a block. And left hand up to the sky. So. And hold. Really getting a really nice stretch in the hamstrings. Really using that core, building flexibility, strength. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to the mat. You can also flip over again. Stepping back into plank, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale as you sweep the left leg up to the sky, open hip, three-legged dog. And exhale as you step it through into runner's lunge. Beautiful. Inhale as you come up into high crescent lunge. Again, option here to drop that right knee down to the mat. And hold. Remembering to keep that spine nice and long. Making sure that right leg is nice, strong, straight, high on those back toes. Front knee, not letting that front knee go over your ankle. Hands to mat. Pivot that back foot so it's in line with the back edge of your mat. Making sure the back arch is also in line with the front heel. Windmill your arms up into warrior two. And hold. Really pressing into the back edge of that back foot. Really feeling those glutes getting fired up. Beautiful. Straighten that front leg. Bring that, hinge that right hip behind you. Reach as far as you can. And coming into triangle pose. Again, placing your hand on your shin, your thigh, or a block, or the mat. You don't have to gaze up in triangle. You can also gaze down towards your mat if you're having any sort of neck pain or any sort of neck issues. Remembering to breathe here. Great. Hands down to the mat. Stepping back into plank, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Deep bend in the knees, gaze to the top of the mat, and step or hop to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping those arms up into extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Awesome. Into fierce pose. Feet are hip width distance apart. Arms are out in front of you. Palms are facing the mat or the ground. Inhale, coming high on your toes, high on those toe mounds. Option to stay here. Level 2s and 3s. As you exhale, slowly start to lower yourself down, imagining you're sliding down a wall behind you, keeping your spine nice and long, sitting as deep as you can. And I am shaking already. So we hold for a few breaths here, making sure you're high on those toes. Do not let those heels touch the mat. I'm shaking too. A few more breaths here. Staying high on those toes, remembering to breathe. And lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Okay, great. So swinging your legs back. Coming onto your forearms, shoulders are in line with your elbows. Legs, bringing your legs high. Coming into dolphin plank. Option here to drop your knees. Otherwise, staying high on those toes, really engaging those quads, engaging the core, pressing the forearms into the mat. Shoulders are away from the ears. The only thing touching the mat is your toes and your forearms and your palms. A few more breaths here. And go ahead and come into child's pose. Taking a nice deep inhale here. Exhaling through the mouth. Going onto tabletop. Swing your legs over to the left. Coming onto your right hip. Bring your legs out in front of you. Bring your right leg inside of your left. Or your right foot inside your left leg. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, keeping the spine long as you hinge at the hips, folding over the left leg into our one-legged hamstring stretch. Stretching out everything we just worked. Stretching out everything we just worked on. Inhale, coming on up, extending your right leg, bringing your left foot in to your right thigh. Inhale, sweeping those arms up, Lengthening that spine. Exhale, surrender over your right leg. Inhale, coming on up. And you're coming back onto your back. Bring your heels together to touch, the soles of your feet to touch. Letting your knees draw towards your mat into seated butterfly. Beautiful. Really nice stretch in the groin and the inner thighs here. Resting here for one more minute. your knees in with your hands and bring your knees in towards your chest. Roll over onto your right side. Bring yourself up with your left hand, coming up into seated. Bringing your hands into heart center. I want to thank you for joining me in today's energizing but challenging class. Thank you again for joining, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.